Hi, I'm Laura, welcome back to my channel, and I come before you with a very unmade up face to bring you a weekly makeup basket. I know it's been a few weeks since I've done one of these. It just got away from me. It just got away from me for a little bit, so I just carried on using the same things I have been using. I actually still have the palettes out that I've been using. Of course, I had my little MAC quad, which I'll talk about in just a second. But I was utilising the Sample Beauty The Cult palette and the Morphe Making Bank palette, and oh my god, I love them. I loved them, guys. I really did. So the Cult Beauty palette, I was mostly using like the red shades here, like the purpley red. Kelly, Leon, Ashley, loved them. Chantal was a really good sort of transitiony blendy shade, and this number A1. Oh, I thought it was just like a sort of shimmery lemon, but it has this sort of weird, not weird, but it has like a somewhat greenness to it, almost like a limeness, kind of like that Colourpop shade that's, can I reach it? You know, they're all at the front. It kind of, yes it does. It's kind of like Fruit Punch from Colourpop, but less green. More of a yellowiness. It's got that same sort of effect to it. Loved it, can I say. But yeah, so the Cult palette, really enjoyed it, and started mixing a few of the colours, like mixing Bex with Cheryl, and mixing Isabel with Leanne, and just creating different types of purples, because I do feel that was the only thing that was really missing from this palette, is like a proper like purple, because these are more like maroony type shades, not the type of purple I like. But yeah, it means I can utilize these two blues, Bex and Isabel, and work that startlingly bright pink into looks. So I really enjoyed using that guy. And then of course we have Making Bank, and I just love this palette just generally, so getting to use it again is always a delight. Of course, using the sort of basic colours here, awesome. This one down here, Bazillionaire, just give a little swatcheroo there. Sort of like it actually is a bit like this Natasha Denona shade that I was looking at just yesterday. Nah. It is very similar to this Natasha Denona shade D'Or, just not quite as impactful. It doesn't have that same sort of texture. The colour it gives off, it has that same sort of shift, if you will. So which one was which? Yeah, has that same sort of shift color range. This is Natasha Denona, this one down here is the Morphe. I would never compare the quality or the textures, but to give that sort of color aesthetic vibe, Bazillionaire is on point for me. And of course, getting to use like khaki greens and things, oh, it makes me all kinds of happy. So playing about in these guys for a couple of weeks was awesome, and I could hold off on this until my empties, but I'm just going to share it now because I'm so excited. I finished an eyeshadow. I finished Brulee. I mean, you knew I was gonna at some point. So the Brulee that was in my MAC quad is finished, and I've replaced it with the shade Tracks. Oh, this palette is all kinds of busted, but I've replaced it with the shade Tracks. So in here now I've got Dazzleite, Cork, Tracks, and Espresso. And yeah, I'm just going to keep plugging away, and every time I use up a MAC shadow in this little quad, I'm just going to replace it with another one out of my big MAC palette until I've used them all up. So we'll circle back around to palettes again at the end, because I've picked a bunch of palettes that I want to play with. Probably a bit too much, but it's fine. But starting with face products, of course, I'm still working on these two guys, even though it's been a few weeks. The Lisa Armstrong for Avon primer moisturizer, the Hydra Matte primer from Revolution Pro, which is really getting down in there. It's like way down here somewhere. Really getting through those guys. I've also actually pulled out a third primer to play with. I know, I'm getting a bit extravagant here. This is the Becca Backlight Priming Filter, which I actually have another backup of, so it's nice to start working one of them into usage and try and get it used up. In terms of foundation, I am still using my little concoction. Where is it gone? Here it is. I actually had almost finished this, and I did a silly thing. Not a silly thing. I mean, I'm happy with the result, but I did add more to it. I mixed some more of the Revolution Pro. Well, to recap what was originally in here. Originally what in here was the Flawless Creamed Powder from Avon. Used that up. Put the Studio Sculpt foundation in here from MAC and put some of that green colour corrector that I've now just dropped on the floor in there. And I got to the point where it was almost all used up. And I decided to play Mad Scientist again, and I put some more of that green colour corrector in, and I mixed in a couple of Revolution products. So in here there is now a good dose of the CC Perfecting foundation in the shade 0.1. Is it 0.1? I'm sure. Yeah, 0.1. And some of the Full Camouflage foundation, full cover camouflage in F1. So there's a mixture of both of those in here with what was left of the Studio Sculpt, which was, I really should have left it alone. I really should have, but I like the combination of it all together, and as it's been sunnier and it's getting a bit more tan, I can add in a little bit extra of the Dior as I go, sort of darken it up a little bit if I want to. And I'm getting my foundation fix on. I'm happy with the combination I've created, and I'm loving how it looks on the skin. Concealer wise, I am still using the Revolution Eye Bright, but I don't know if you can maybe tell this bit is just up in here now. I'm so close to being done with this thing. It will definitely be finished by the end of June. Absolutely, definitely. To set everything, I did actually start using a loose powder. I just grabbed this one day because it was sitting out on the desk. This is the coconut scented baking powder from I Heart Revolution. The coconut scent is you don't really notice it. It's quite a light finish powder, but the colour again is as negligible as the scent. You don't really notice it. It doesn't really impact on the face, but it does set really nicely. It's a very soft, gentle, diffused setting powder. It doesn't overly mattify. It doesn't look very cakey, although I am quite light-handed with it. So there is that. For blush, I was gonna set repress my Rockateur blush, but it got attacked by a child. There is still some in here. I might try and scrape out what I can and repress it, but at least we know this will definitely be finished this year because there's so little left. Also, I don't know if I showed this on this channel. If not, but I did talk about getting rid of the Gemini 2 palette because of the iffy shades, and wonderful news, can be magnetized. Well, the pans are magnetic and I can just remove them. Well, I don't have to worry about the iffy shades anymore because again, Rosie got into these and decided to play about with them, and she attacked the two shades that were problem. Yes, this beautiful khaki and this beautiful peach got a bit of an attack, but for the most part, she only attacked the problem shades. But I will be labeling up names and getting those out there shortly. But yes, so we'll play about with the Rockateur blush, but I also pulled out this guy, which I've actually been using for the last week and loving. This is Mocha Blush, and as if I've got it on today, I've got nothing on today. But this is just a really nice sort of soft, neutral pink. It's not too warm, it's not too cool. It's actually really just lovely. I'm still keeping out the Crossroads blush that I was using from Colourpop. Absolutely been loving the Crossroads blush. Will continue to keep this out. In fact, because there's so little in this, there's 3.75 grams, which in the grand scheme of blush quantities, because this is 6 grams of blush, so it's like half the size of a MAC blush effectively, or 2/3 if you want to round up to 4 grams, whatever. We might work on finishing up this throughout the rest of the year as well. Try and get as much moved out as possible, you know, that's the aim of the game here. Bronzer wise, I did pull this out from the archives. This is ready to go bronzer from Revolution. This is, I don't even want to think how old. I really don't. And of course, still working on the NYX matte bronzer. Everything is a bit everywhere on my desk at the moment, so I'm like grabbing from here, there, and everywhere. But yes, NYX matte bronzer. You know, some days I look at this and think, oh, it's really cool toned and it's really pale, and then other times I look into it and I'm like, it's so dark and orange. But yeah, as you can see, the pan is getting bigger, the sides are getting shallower. I keep saying I'm going to repress it. Will I ever get round to repressing it? I don't know. I really don't. But those are the two sort of bronzy products I'm working on, focusing on. And of course, the Guerlain Cruel Gardenia highlight. It's beautiful. I love it. It's still kicking and we're still using it, and there's a little bit chipped away in the corner here, so it is what it is. But that is what we're doing face product wise this week. A lot to play with, and of course to set everything I'm using the Hyaluronic Fix from Revolution, which is getting down to the bottom there. Maybe another week or two and it will be done. Brows, of course, this never-ending brow pencil that's actually broken out of its little holder now because it was just so hot it melted. So that's what we're doing. Brow wise, mascara wise, still using the Great Lash. I really should change it up. I'll get to it eventually. Shadow pencils. Of course, I have the Amethyst from... Oh god, that is so melty. The Amethyst from Laura Mercier. We have the Amethyst from Laura Mercier and the Rose Gold. Again, just trying to move out shadow pencils. This has served me so well with things like Bazillionaire. It really amps up the pigmentation so that the reflex shows a bit more like, say, the Natasha Denona shade would. But yeah, loving having these out, using them, enjoying them. Lip product wise, I've just been throwing on gloss and going, look how low it's getting now. Like if I scrape the edges a bit. Like it's so, I'm at the halfway mark now, roughly at the halfway mark, and for a lip gloss that is under a year old in my collection, this is insane. And I've been dabbling between the two Estee Lauder lip liners, depending on how I feel. We have the rose one for more pinky days, and then we have the spice one, which I need to sharpen for the more sort of warm toned days, more brown in it. And on to eyeshadows, because I have something about finishing off that Brulee shadow has sparked something in me about wanting to dabble in my eyeshadows, use up as much eyeshadow as possible. I've been very analytical like last couple of days. Like, what could I potentially possibly use up? So I have pulled back out the two palettes that I was meant to be working on this year, and I've lost one of them. Where'd it go? So I have these two eyeshadow palettes that I was supposed to be working on this year. This one was supposed to be the bite-sized theme for Pantastic Ladies for this year, and this one I chose for like the Tiny Pans theme. I wanted to reattempt past Pan That Palette themes. Oh, me in January. I had such big plans, big ideas. But yeah, these were two of the palettes I was supposed to be working on. And you know what? I'm kind of tempted to circle back on that, because these are only 3.5 grams, this one. And whilst I don't really like this shade, this one makes a nice liner, and these two are decent enough on the lid. I did think of maybe decluttering it, but you know, we'll pull it out for this week, play with it. You know, I've been using the Make and Bank and really enjoying it. And then we have the Natasha Denona, the Mini Glam palette, that was for Tiny Pans theme, and I really do need to press some of those shades in there. I really do. And again, these are only 0.8 grams per shadow, so again, not a whole lot of product in there. And it kind of made me think about my Anastasia palettes. I need to do a whole video on this, but I did pull out the Anastasia, two of them. We have the Soft Glam, which I actually used yesterday and really enjoyed. Yesterday was my birthday, and I just went full glam with my makeup. I didn't take any pictures of it, but I played about in this and really loved Cypress Umber. Oh man, beautiful, beautiful. Burnt orange, beautiful. So yeah, play about in that for a little bit. I know I'm not going to get to all these palettes this week, but these are the ones I've pulled out to have a dabble in. And we have Nervina, which is, I'm sure I've said it before, is significantly less purple. Like when you get it and open it, it is significantly less purple than what you think it's going to be. Like the packaging and everything throws you right off. But again, these shadows are only like 0.7 grams a piece. These are 0.71 grams and these are 0.74 grams. So they're so small. They really are. Like when you're thinking of like a MAC shadow, this Brulee shadow is 1.5 grams. Sometimes MAC shadows can be up to 2 grams. So I'm used to a standard eyeshadow being about 1 gram to 1.5 grams. So anything less than 1 gram, whew, you could work through that. Yeah, you could. Like these. I actually love this palette. This is the Dusk Till Dawn one from W7, and the entire palette is 9.6 grams. The entire palette is 9.6 grams. And this was my original Tiny Pans palette. And I love it. And it's beautiful. And again, I just want to have it out, play with it, even if I just use it for one day this week. The 24K Gold Rush from W7. Again, this whole palette is 11.2 grams for 14 shades. So significantly less than 1 gram per shadow. And the last one I have that is like less than 1 gram per shadow is this Mercury Retrograde 18 shades, but it's 16.1 grams. 16.1 grams of product in here. And it is so beautiful. Like, I want to play with these like lid shades and things, because matte shadows are wonderful and everything, but coming in the summer and stuff, I want the sparkles. Inner corner highlights, lid shades. This really has all. It even has like a brow bone setting shade, a bit of a liner shade in here. So yeah, I've also, got my Tartelette one, because I've used that Brulee. I've decided to start working and focusing hardcore on Charmer to try and get used up and use whatever else is going on in here. But I really want to focus on playing with these 7 palettes this week. No, 7. 5. Work on playing with these 5 palettes this week and see how I feel about them. And yeah, because I feel like I'm ready to get back into proper project planning. Like I say, I'll do another video on it, like a dedicated one, go more at my thoughts, because not everybody watches the weekly makeup baskets, but more people might watch a dedicated project plan video. But yeah, really happy with everything I've pulled out this week. Like I say, lip product wise, I've only got my main focus is on this guy. If I want to put on a lip colour, I will. It's just, small children, lipstick. Like, I don't want to be covering my little boy in lipstick. I really don't. And that's a really nice, nourishing lip gloss. So I might spend the summer focusing on my lip glosses. And if it means that more of my lipsticks end up going bad, then it is what it is. It is what it is. Good times are coming. I'll be able to replace some of them or find something similar. Like, when I say replace, like, a lot of what I own is discontinued, but as we all know in the makeup realm, nothing is unique and original. There's a better version of this lipstick. I can almost guarantee you there is a newer, better version of this Guerlain lipstick out there in the market right now. And there will be in a year or 2 as well. And it's fine. And now I can't get that back in its holder. There we go. Same with these YSL ones. I mean, they still make these. They still make these YSL lipsticks. So I might just pick up a couple of new shades in a year or 2. Depending on when I'm able to repurchase them. Because this week is my last week of maternity leave. It really is. Last week of maternity leave. I go back to work next week. And there's loads of things coming. Loads of things I want to talk about. I will have a Get Ready With Me coming up later in the week. Talking about big changes and plans and things coming your way. So I'll save it for then. I don't want to spoil it all and ruin all the fun. So I will catch you guys later. Thank you so much for watching. Sorry this was such a long one, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.